Now we're going to start doing something a little bit more planned, something you kind of have to think about a little bit more. Let's start with a little bit of stippling. Now there aren't rules to stippling. There truly aren't. A lot of people think that you're not supposed to cross over lines and that kind of thing, but if you cross over, do it a couple more times, looks like a pattern. So just don't stress out about this. I hate that when people really stress out because it's not worth it. There's a lot of other places we can stress out. Now stippling can be large or small, or some people call it meandering, but it's just kind of you're wandering around and not making really any straight lines. There really isn't any hard work to this. And the beauty of stippling is it's something you don't have to mark. It's a good background filler, you don't have to mark it, and it's just kind of a filler that you don't really want to see. It fades into the background. Of course, when you're using thread like this, it doesn't fade at all. But this is stippling, and you just need to kind of play with it and see a pattern there. It kind of evolves after you go a while. But if you cross over, just do it again in another spot. And it'll look like you meant to do it. And typically when I'm doing stippling, it's the thread matches the fabric, and it's a really small thing, and if you crossed over, nobody would know it anyway. So I don't stress out about stippling too much. Another thing that you can try are hooks and curves. And this is just something I kind of developed on my own, and it was just something that was real comfortable for me to do. So you can develop your own design that works for you. There's a lot of different background filler designs like this that don't have to be marked. And all I do is just kind of try to change direction by making a hook and then echo it a little bit. It's a very simple thing, not much to it, but it's something you can try to get used to the feeling of having total control of your machine. And remember to take the pins out as you come to them. I've seen some really nice practice sandwiches with real pretty designs around the pins, but you kind of need to get yourself used to taking those out when you get close to them. Okay, another thing I really like as a background design is, remember the stars you made when you were a kid that are always fun? I like to make stars, and then when I put a loop in between them, I can make them more random. It seems like when I try to make just stars without the loops, they end up being in rows and not really very random. So I kind of make a little loop in between just to make them a little more scattered. And these are things that you can do just to kind of get a feel for your machine and your stitch length worked out and everything in consistency before you start on your actual project.